Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3. Mic testing.
Good evening. Namaskaram. At the outset, I'd like to apologize for the condition of my voice. I'm recovering from a bout of laryngitis and almost didn't make it for this event. But like you, I'm passionate about my work, and I didn't want to miss any of the fun that you guys are going to have tonight. So, in a few minutes, we are going to be up with the Pecha Kucha Bengaluru edition for women only. Do take the time out now, for those of you who are joining us, to please keep your mobiles in the silent mode. And also, we're closing the bar so that you've got your drinks on the table. So, we will resume after the show. I want everyone to have fun tonight. And so, do be as interactive as possible and participative, and help out our speakers who are going to be up here, giving you their best. I don't know if many of you had a chance to see some of our special stories that are up out in front, outside this hall, of the KOHLER BOLD stories, stories of strong, independent women who have carved out their distinctive paths, writing their life journeys, and inspiring other women to be who they are, no matter what. Our select 9 that you have up on display are Dhara Parmar, Bijal, Laura, who's here, Laura KOHLER, Manaswani Patra, Karishma Gandhi Malkani, Abha, Aditi Rao Haidari, who's also here with us, Twinkle Khanna, and Shilpa. If you haven't had a chance as yet, do see the displays after the show. And also, we've got a graffiti board up there, so share your inspirational thoughts using hashtag KOHLERBOLDStories and leave behind a note for all of us. Aditi and Laura are here, so you can, of course, walk up to them and have a chat after the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, and we're ready to start. Good evening, ladies. I have to admit, it's not often that I get to open an evening like this with only women in the audience. So welcome to International Women's Day, a day dedicated to us. Let's have a cheer. At KOHLER BOLD Art, we took this a step further and decided to give 7 super talented women professionals a chance to look at the goddess in the details in true Pecha Kucha style. So tonight, this is a night where you're allowed to be just yourself. 2019 is a year 7 that KOHLER has been hosting Pecha Kucha nights, and we have a 146-year legacy of living on the edge, combining futuristic thinking and rigorous craftsmanship to bring innovative, beautiful designwear to life. Undoubtedly, design is embedded in its DNA, and KOHLER has been holding art and industry programs for years at its campus in the US by inviting designers to come in for residencies and make their own art. Many of you already know that we've been in India for more than a decade, and in keeping with KOHLER's affinity for the arts, tonight we celebrate design and host a dialogue between you and our 7 super talented women. Our media partner, Times of India, our TV broadcast partner, Times Now, as well as Kohler India Facebook page, along with IDEVA, will be live streaming this event. So a warm welcome to those of us who are joining into our live stream. We are using Pecha Kucha's simple concept for an informal and fun sharing of creative ideas, works, thoughts, holiday pictures, just about anything really, only in the 2020 format. So let me not bore you with too much detail. Suffice to say that each of our featured speaker has 6 minutes and 40 seconds to tell a story. And she will do this in one flow with no stops. 20 slides, each for 20 seconds. We've picked up the idiom, God is in the detail, that was considered among Mies van der Rohe's favorites, and clearly all of us recognized the clarity, the simplicity, the good detailing that symbolized his brand of architecture. Well, tonight we gender modified that idiom to the goddess is in the details. And I'm as curious as you are to know how our 7 super talented stars will respond. Do women see things differently? Are women particularly more receptive and perceptive or sensitive? And does that make them do things differently? What makes women stand out? And what is that special skill that only they possess, that gives them an edge over all other genders? Does the battle of the sexes still ring true? And have women turned the tyranny of patriarchy into an advantage and become far better than men at most things? These are some of the questions that are up in my mind. I think we should set the ball rolling now. And I'd like to invite Laura Kohler, Senior Vice President, overseeing the company's worldwide human resources organization, leading Kohler's stewardship, innovation for good and sustainability programs, to take a spin at this. Just a few words before she starts. In addition to all that she does at Kohler, she also manages Kohler's renowned arts and industry program. And Laura began working very early. In fact, she was at high school when she started working with Kohler, doing summer jobs. In 1995 was when she joined as Vice President Communications, and 4 years on, took over as the Vice President HR. Soon, she was promoted as Senior VP HR and Labor Relations. And it's interesting that Laura, like your father, you too were passionate about theater. And I believe even founded a theater company? Right. Later, she made that career choice of joining the family business. So she's a power woman in every sense of the word, and she serves on the board as chair of Outward Bound USA, the Kohler Trust for the Arts and Education, and the Kohler Trust for Preservation. She's also a board member for the John Michael Kohler Arts Center and the Actors Center in New York City, retaining that interest in theater, and a trustee at Lawrence University. So please put your hand together and give a warm welcome to Laura Kohler.
Good evening. I am so pleased to be here, and I want to say a shout out to our female crew, the camera women, the tech people, woohoo! And the Kohler team that put this all together. So I'm thrilled to be here. Here we go, Monica. As designers and architects, I know many of you have worked with Kohler products, but you just may not know the story behind Kohler Company. Kohler Company was founded in 1873 by my great-grandfather, John Michael Kohler. Today, we are 38,000 people and 50 locations around the world where we manufacture product. This past year, I celebrated my 25th anniversary at Kohler Company, and I was surprised by an absolutely beautiful candelabro that was made for me by a Kohler and made in our foundry. It reminded me that I needed to reflect on my career and share my story with all of you. But, well, to be completely honest, as a little girl, I really didn't dream about working at Kohler. In fact, I wanted to run from Kohler because I didn't want to be Laura Kohler. That's my sister Rachel, that's me in the blonde hair, and that's my grandfather, Herbert Sr., who was CEO of Kohler until 1968. He was a painter, and he was trying to convince us to have a career at Kohler. Well, my path wasn't always so straight. It was a winding path that led me to ultimately to where I am today. When I was just 16 years old, I had a life-changing experience. I went on an Outward Bound course. I was the only female with a crew of men. That Outward Bound adventure pushed me beyond what I thought I could do. It really helped me shape out of my comfort zone. It shaped my leadership, it shaped my grit, and it shaped teamwork. And today, at that point in time, I went to Duke University, studied theater and political science, and after college, I moved to Chicago and started Address Unknown, a theater company of homeless, an improv company where they told their stories. It was picked up by American television. After that, I did end up at Kohler, and I was able to join a really great company and a team where I worked in communications, I worked in the arts, I worked in HR and social impact. And I joined my father, my brother, my sister, and we're really proud of leading one of the largest privately held companies in the United States. And part of my journey is I get the world. I meet face-to-face with all our customers, I meet with the people, the associates that work for us, and I meet with our partners. And we are able to actually believe in better. We believe that lending a hand is more important or as important as leading in the market. Well, there are so many problems in this world, clearly. But at Kohler Company, we believe that we need to put our best assets to pursue the challenges that we're really good at, and that's water and sanitation. So we want to bring safe water and sanitation to as many parts of the world as possible. 1 in 10 people have no access to clean water, and 6 in 10 have no access to sanitation. Women and girls are particularly underserved. And at the same time, the world is experiencing this really sharp rise in demand for fresh water. So we believe we can do something about that. So we really created the Clarity water filter. We also put 200 toilets in 2 villages in India near the plant where we manufacture our product in Jagadia. We believe that we're lending our expertise to Prime Minister Modi's mission, Clean India, which provides every person a toilet by 2019. And of course, there are other problems in the world as well. Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico. This man didn't have clean water for 5 weeks. We figured out with Water Mission, if we put a generator on the village water pump, we brought her to that village within 24 hours. We did that with 43 other villages in Puerto Rico. Kohler Waste Lab, that's a project that we're really proud of. That beautiful green tile is made out of pottery coal and foundry dust. In combination, it has made this beautiful tile that we just launched under the Ann Sachs brand name. Now, the main attributes of Kohler products are design, innovation, quality, and craftsmanship. You know, frankly, a functional piece of art. So attention to detail is a guiding force at Kohler, and we try to contribute to the higher level of gracious living for everybody who touches our products and services. So what's really unique to a plumbing company is this influence of art on what we do. We have 16 artists a year that come through Kohler and work in our pottery and our foundry alongside our associates. They make their own work. It truly inspires us. And through it all, I really continue to seek the details that matter to me in my life, to be the best mother and the best leader that I can be. I traveled to Amman in January as part of in the United States. I was part of a global meeting. So I went from being a student at 16 to an instructor to being a board chair for the United States. I believe in Outward Bound's ability to unlock human potential. So what have you unlocked with your potential? This photo is from my trip. There's something in this photo that really compelled me, and that is the circle of pillows. There is no head at the table. Everyone is equal. All voices are positioned to be heard. So for me, this was another important wake-up call about ideas and being open to as many influences as possible. These women influenced my life. My grandmother, Ruth Kohler, was an editor at the Chicago Tribune in the 1940s. My aunt was an artist and started one of the most important art centers in the United States, which holds a Neck-Chan collection that is very influential. And this is my mother, Linda Kohler. She taught me service to others, work ethic, and to whom much is given, much is expected. So, who is that strong woman in your life, that mentor, that goddess? Imagine her now. Who has influenced you to pursue your passion? Who has poured herself into you? Who has cared about the details in your life? And just as important, who are you caring for in your life? These are my 3 strong, intelligent, beautiful daughters. They're the next generation for our world. And I care about the details in their lives, and I imagine that one day they too will be goddesses in the detail. So I leave you today, please remember that each of you have a place in this world. We need your voice. Your voice needs to be heard, because by focusing on the details, you can make a positive change that is so necessary in our world today. And we're all counting on you. Thank you.
Wow. Laura seriously set the bar quite high. Thank you, Laura. How she adapted to the format and kept it simple, fun, and short. So let's begin with our panel and invite Sonali Bhagwati, the co-founder of Spazio Design, which is recognized internationally as a leading Indian contemporary design firm. After the merger with Spazio and Design Plus, she has taken over as president of the company DBA. She graduated from CEPT Ahmedabad with honors in 1986. Sonali went on to work in Paris on a scholarship from the French Architecture Institute. Her experience and expertise in architecture and interior design has been recognized with numerous awards and accolades. She's an executive member of the Conservation Society of Delhi, a member of the Delhi Urban Arts Council. She's also on the committee of experts constituted by the Ministry of Environment for the appraisal of development of projects in eco-sensitive areas. So here is Sonali with her 6 minutes and 40 seconds.
Thank you, Rini. Thank you, Kohler, for having me here, and thank you, everyone, for being here for me today. Before we start, I want to dedicate what I'm going to say today to my mother, who, at the age of 91, started a new business. And she is really making a big success of it. And I would say there's no bar to anything that you want to do. There age is no bar. It's just business bar. So, Monica, can we start? What is design? Design and detail are integral to each other. And actually, the textbook definition of design is to make drawings, detailed drawings of anything, object or place or space. And that's what makes a good design. So design and detail are part and parcel of each other. This aspect of design and detail is applicable to all disciplines, whether it is fashion design or graphic design, product design, interior design, architecture, and last but not the least, urban design. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, because urban design is a crying need that we're facing today. Our cities are today faced with a sort of a binary, I would call it, where we have a very strong private domain and a very strong public domain, and the twain never meet, because the private domain is beautifully designed, it's controlled, and the public domain is like a mess. The design in our public domain is leading to various problems like garbage, encroachments, chaotic parking, uncontrolled streetscape, and all in all, the two domains become like we have bits of private domain and huge places of public domain in the middle. Now, when we take our public domain, and let's take the aspect of it. Let's take this part of Shah Jahanabad, Old Delhi. We have numerous problems. We have overhead services, we have uncontrolled encroachments, we have various problems. And when we apply a little of design and a little bit of detail to it, the same place with a little intervention can really be transparent. With some signage, some street furniture, a little bit of detailing about the way of street is, the sections are worked out, and it can really make a huge quantum shift in the experience of a pedestrian. This is another street that we have taken. This is a study done by DOAC. I must give full credit to them. And if you see the before and after, it's a marked difference without actually touching the urban form or the private structures in any way. We are trying to create a palette of colors, a system of signage, system of, your wayfinding signages, your lighting, street furniture, and it's just putting an order into everything that creates this difference. This is a small street in a Kucha Patiram, which is a very small residential street. And it's really a very pretty street, but because of the lack of design or it starts becoming very haphazard. You see what it can look like with little intervention in this before and after. This is a small courtyard, which unfortunately starts getting used as a go down. And if you see, the same courtyard can really be transformed into a wonderful space which is private, which gives air and light to the interiors. So a little bit of design intervention changes the face of your city. Let's talk about Connaught Place. Today, this beautiful piece of Lachin's Delhi is besotted with problems of, again, same problems, encroachments, traffic, random parking, and whatnot. And what can we do to it? We said, let's pedestrianize it. Let's pedestrianize at least a part of Connaught Place, let's say the inner circle. We combine the inner circle circulation with the central garden, and we get a wonderful, wonderful public space which is coming to your doorstep. And that's what improves your pedestrian experience. If you see in these pictures, we have lots and lots of cars. We are seeing cars as a forefront and building as a background. And we really don't want that. What do you do to make building as a foreground and landscape as a foreground and pedestrian a happy person to be there? You shouldn't be navigating cars. And this is what it looks like. I mean, once we start making the inner circle pedestrian, we start making the gardens, we start landscaping, we disincentivize people from coming in cars by increasing the parking rates. You start creating MLCPs which help take care of the parking. And you create a system of RFID cards which actually helps people go and navigate in the outer circle and make sure that they don't really need to enter in a circle. This is what you see right now, which is all roads, and more roads. And if you do that, what do you see now? You see gardens. And that's what we want. So this is what a little bit of detail, little bit of design, little bit of a thought process can create for our wonderful city. And this is a crying need today. And we need to look at various parts of a city and try and find unique design solutions. This is a very nice example of what one can do, which is a live example. In Ahmedabad, this is what Sabarmati River looked like in the 80s. It was slums, it was a place where never ever went to. And then a project was taken up over a period of 11 years. And this is what it looks like now. I mean, a quantum change had to be done in terms of they made it into almost like a lake where the inlet and outlet are controlled. So this water is sort of always the water level is maintained. The water banks are created. And most importantly, a huge urban space has been created on the banks of this river, which is for the city. If you see in this picture, the left side shows what Sabarmati looked like with a very undefined edge. It was a monsoon with orange monsoons, and today it looks like what you see on the right. And this is what creates a vibrant sort of a waterfront, riverfront experience where people today go cycling in the morning, that happen. It's a place where people actually come together. These were the places which were lacking in the city. And this is what design has done to create a beautiful urban experience. And this is something which I think we must all carry forward to all our cities. That's my dream, and this is what I hope to do for my city at least. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonali. Very strong designs, lots of twerks, and she's got the job done. We now have Aditi Rao Haidari, who has literally woken up each day listening to the sounds of the Tanpura. As her mother, Vidya Rao, a Hindustani classical singer and writer, famous for Twi and Ghazal. So naturally, Aditi learned to sing first and later to dance Bharat, that she learned from Guru Leela Sasan. She continued to learn and dance professionally till she moved to Bombay, or Mumbai as it's called, to act in the movies. She made her on-screen debut in the film Shringaram in 2007, even though it didn't release but did the festival circuit. It won her critical acclaim and awards, which gave her the confidence to finally move to Bombay in 2010. Aditi rose to fame after her performance in Sudhir Mishra's romantic thriller Ye Sali Zindagi, a role in 2011 that won her her first award. She has since starred in movies like London, Paris, New York, Murder 3, Wazir, and more recently the titular role in the thriller Bhumi, for which she received the Dada Saheb Phalke Excellence Award and the Rajiv Gandhi Award Best Actress. Aditi's most recent portrayal of Mehrunisa in Sanjay Leela Bhansali's Padmavat was a dream that came true for her. After being part of one of the films down south, Mani Ratnam's Katru Veliyade, she made her Telugu debut and won more hearts in Sammohanam. Ever since, there's been no looking back, as Aditi has become one of the most sought-after stars, signing 2 projects, Psycho, to be directed by celebrated director Miskin, and an untitled bilingual film opposite actor-director Dhanush. A versatile star, Aditi has really carved out a niche for herself with her consistently nuanced performances while continuing to excel and push the envelope when it comes to her craft. I'm sure you're as interested as I am to know what Aditi thinks of goddesses and such details. Aditi.
Good evening. It is really, really special to be here. I feel very honored actually to be here. And let me tell you, I'm very, very nervous because I feel like it's so much easier giving a shot in front of 300 people than it is to say something in like 20 seconds. So I'm having a minute heart attack, but thank you so much, and thank you for that introduction. I feel like I'm getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. But, thank you, KOHLER, for having me. And I think it's really incredible, a room full of amazing women. I feel like I really feel very inspired, and thank you for having me here, and I think I should start now. This is a very special photograph. I think a mother is everything to a child, and I think that nurture and that love empowers you, and it makes you feel fearless, and a lot of who you are begins with a mother. At least for me, it's been like that. I think I'm very, very close to my mother, and she's very special to me. So every time I look at this picture, I feel everything is going to be okay. This one proves that I'm always a drama queen. I used to literally tell all my aunts, let's play photo. And I remember my mother once took me to see Snow White, and of course, like an idealistic mother told me that it's not, looking in the mirror is not a thing of beauty, etc., etc. And to which I replied to her that, हाँ, in Hindi, I said, हाँ, अम्मा, मैं कितनी सुंदर हूँ, मैं थोड़ी ना आईने में देखती हूँ. So all her training went up in flames. Another person who I was very close to and I was very lucky to have been brought up by some amazing women is my grandmother, who taught me to cycle, forced me to play in mud wearing shorts. Actually, I wanted to wear beautiful salwar kameezes and make my hair and put pins and baubles in my hair. But she would drag me to the mud in a pair of shorts. And that little boy is me with my father. So mother did to me because I think she felt that the number of pins and bows and baubles I wanted to put in my hair was just making me miss my school bus. So there went my hair and I became a little boy. And again, I think that was my training from my mother about beauty and not being vain and just really sort of, I think it might have worked because I don't look in the mirror a lot anymore and I'm an actor. So my mother is somebody I'm very, 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 very close to, of course. And I grew up to the sounds of the Tanpura. And I really miss that now because I live in Mumbai. But I feel like who I am is because of what she is and because of what I think she gave me. Another person who I think is very instrumental in my upbringing and my growing up and making me who I am is my teacher, Leela Sampson. I was so determined to learn dance that at age 4, I dragged my nanny every day to dance class till she relented and called my mother and said, okay, she's too tiny, but I will still take her. So I was very determined even then, and I continue to be even today. I was soon after packed off to boarding school, a very special school, a Krishnamurti Foundation India school, where, again, I think I was just so lucky that I had so many people around me who reiterated a similar kind of education and a similar kind of free-spiritedness. And I think that school was very in me choosing to do what I do today, whether it's dance or whether it's an actor or whether it's to be free-spirited and to follow my heart. And I think my dancing through school and my made me, I think, very unself-conscious. I remember my teacher, Leela Sampson, putting me 2 inches away from her nose and making me do expression pieces. And I think to me, the camera is my teacher, and which is why I feel very happy and safe in front of the camera. One of the films I did, actually, I consider it the first film after I moved to Bombay, is Ye Sali Zindagi, and I was mortified because all people spoke about were the kisses in that film. And I always wondered, 2 people who love each other, that's what they do, right? And if those are the characters, then it's very natural, and pelvic thrusts aren't as natural as kisses. So this Amul hoarding actually sorted all that out for me, and it was almost like an award for me. This is the first cover I ever did. It was actually a day after my father passed away. He had cancer and he very suddenly died. And he very suddenly passed away. And I feel like I realized then that the camera is like a wonderland for me. And being in front of the camera feels very safe. And you can be vulnerable and you can share all your feelings with the camera. And I think just sticking to that commitment was very empowering for me. Another film that did that for me was Wazir. And a very internal journey of this girl where I only spoke through my eyes. And I feel like it was the dancing and the music and everything that actually comes from being comfortable with silences that helped me do this film and that helped me get a lot of love for this film. This one image is very, very special to me because 1, it went viral, and 2, it made me believe in the power of your kiddie dreams. A little child when I saw it, and I wanted to jump into that frame. And this image was from a film that I did with Mani sir, and it really made me believe that dreams do come true. Again, an image from a film of Mani sir's. I remember this day, I had a wound on my back. I had a catch in my waist. We'd shot 2 songs back to back. I was completely sleep deprived. I was taking painkillers, physio, doing a shot, and there was holy color in my ears, my nose, my eyes, everywhere. There was water everywhere. I was dancing, dying of pain. But I found a friend in all that chaos, and it was just so beautiful. And I think Manisa's sets are very, very special. He's a very special person to me. He's a mentor, teacher, a parent, all rolled into one. And I think he's special because you're not man, woman, child, animal. You're just a person who comes onto his set with passion and with that spirit of teamwork. And you are there because he believes in you. And I think it's a very special way to work. Another person who I love and I dreamt of working with was Sanjay sir. Very, very special to me. And I really enjoyed working with him. Again, a very stern, I call him like a strict teddy bear. He at 1 minute will hug you and the other minute will sort of discipline you for something. And again, it was incredible working with him. And I think working with him on that set made me realize how beautiful it is to be able to cut out the sound of the world around you and to get into character. And Manisa and Sanjay sir both do the same thing. This scene with Ranveer and me, in fact, it was so in 2 days, and it was so intense, and because the characters were saying lines very opposite to what they were actually feeling. They were being very violent towards each other, but they were actually very, very loving towards each other, and they couldn't imagine a life without each other. And Rekha ji actually gave me a letter after that film, and that was like an award for me. Sammohanam, my first Telugu film, is a film that I love so much because it's very rare when a film is loved by critics, the film fraternity, and the audiences. And this film was special also because I played an actor, and it's a lot like Notting Hill. And you know that line which everybody loves, I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her. I mean, what more can an actor want? So it was very special. Again, a very blessed moment for me. But if you see this video, you will laugh. At least I did, and the whole of Madras Talkies, which is Manisa's production, laughed, because I stand with a lot of confidence with my faces of a 5-year-old child, because I'm actually not a trained singer, but I got an opportunity to sing one of Manisa's films live with Rahman sir. And he said, anytime you're afraid, just look at me. And I think that was just so beautiful. This is my team. I am nothing without this team. They allow me to be a 5-year-old dreamy child. They allow me to be who I am. They really protect me, nurture me. They stand by me. They are my backbone. They also really ground me, and they are quite strict with me, and they are very, very certain to remind me that I'm human and I'm not that thing, that myth that people make of me. But I will say that my journey has been really, really a lot more to look forward to. But the one thing that I find really amazing is having the day that I discovered that the day you are comfortable with your flaws and your strengths, the day that you are happy being yourself, is when you realize that you are unique and you shine because you are unique and you are you, and no one can take away from you, and that is your great strength.
There was pin drop silence in the audience. We were mesmerized. Bravo, Aditi. Bravo. So, we move on now to Varuna Arvind, a partner with her husband at Arvind Varuna Associates. She's passionate about creating beautiful interiors, and Varuna loves to work with her clients, understanding their needs and aspirations to make their dreams come true. An interior designer par excellence with an eye for detailing and a sense of practicality, she has worked on a wide palette of interior design projects like corporate, residential, retail, and hospitality. Contemporary designs integrating traditional elements and natural materials is her mantra. Clearly, Varuna is using her special skill set to add detail to the project as only a goddess can. Varuna.
I was just going to ask that. Yeah. Hi, beautiful ladies. You all are looking like a piece of art. Happy Women's Day to all of us. Let's celebrate womanhood. I would like to illustrate today's topic with a series of stunning Indian works of art that brings about the feminine force, physical and non-physical. The rock art petroglyph conveys the power of detail. Female forms in temple sculpture could represent a deity, a queen, a powerful consort, or a handmaiden. The sculpture demonstrates very high sense of observation and emulsion. In this exquisite miniature, motifs of household utensils, clothing and ornaments find their way with a painstaking eye to detail, conveying the role of a woman in that time and that era. This Kangra painting shows the woman depicted as an object perceived by her male consort, which represents patriarchal metaphors of duality in male and female dynamics in between. The prospect of battle and gentle nature is seen. A fierce-looking blue-complexioned Kali is shown charging against the demons, the force which her anatomy reveals in tremendous energy. There is tonal balance of color. An interesting feature of this Madhubani art of form conveys the woman as being omnipresent. She is visible in all forms of nature. Durga Bai, a contemporary Gond artist from Central India, brings her own version. The theme is how a woman can do tasks themselves everywhere and still remain unacknowledged for it. Art will achieve its truth when women are no longer objectified by an active male gaze. Though both the artists convey physical beauty of the female form, there is more to her than meets the eye. Amrita Sehgal, a pioneer of modern Indian art, used her paintbrush to depict the daily lives of Indian women that seem to convey a sense of silent resolve. The female figure emerges as a recurring motif in Rekha Rodwitia's bold-hued paintings, representing diverse shades of emotion, sense objectifying the same. Ashok Malik painting include a strong focus on women and contradictions they face. The painting depicts a modern Durga bravely navigating a man's world. A strong feminist, Tara Anand, wishes to challenge gender inequality in her artwork and remove the stigma around caste, class and faiths by bringing the marginalized to the forefront. Asma Menon paintings reflect the life and the nuances we miss out on an everyday basis. The focus is also on the things we know exist and vivid in imagination, the ones that we wish existed. A figurative artist and a modernist, Arpita Singh's painting depict a woman of view of every life in India, showing beauty in the mundane. She brings to her paintings the role of a bystander and an observer to the theatre of the world. A few lines convey a profound thought. In this painting, by the same artist, we see the body of an old woman with roses. Roses symbolize love, desire, and romance. Metal Shadow and Puppets by Tarini Sethi breaks the taboo of body consciousness, and she doesn't mind challenging society's notion of what is distasteful. This brings about perfection in imperfection. Bharti Kher, the skin speaks a language, not its own, depicts a dead and dying elephant in shining bindis with creates texture. This draws fluctuating parallels between tradition and modern. Nasreen Mohammadi's work demonstrates the far reaches of minimalist practices, creating delicate abstract drawings. This thus breaks convention. That God is a she. She is a deity. She sees the micro and the macro. She unifies, she harmonizes, and she beautifies existence. Thank you.
Thank you, Varuna, for that journey through the arts and, of course, reinforcing our belief in the goddess. Up next, we have an award-winning interior designer, Shreya Gupta, who started out small with her big dreams in tow. Clarity has always been her forte, be it now with her arresting interiors and designs, or at 16, when it was clear to her that she was destined for design. A graduate in interior design, Shreya honed her skills in various architectural and design projects before setting up her own private firm, the Orange Lane, in 2003. Driven by her energetic style and spirit, the label grew steadily in stature, getting her prestigious projects initially in the city and later across the country. She's also the leading force behind Peacock Life, a retail venture that offers designer furniture, lifestyle and interior products. And her incredible body of work includes interiors, styling and decor for celebrity homes, popular restaurant chains, and even individual spaces. Shreya has won many global recognitions, getting featured in AD 100 2018 and Deco Wood Design Diva 2018 being only the latest in a long list of accolades that she's received for her projects at the national level. 16 years in the business, and with a team of almost 20 young interior designers, Shreya is today recognized as one of India's leading interior designers. Shreya, do tell us your views on our topic.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And thank you, KOHLER, for having me here today. To begin with, I'd like to start at the very beginning of time. Adam and Eve, with Eve being the temptress, the mother of humanity, started the monthly cycles for all of us, highlighting that women are a far superior sex with the ability to procreate. While we're at the beginning, let's look at the Hindu mythology. The goddesses were pretty responsible for winters. Vishnu and Brahma kind of chilling, and Lord Shiva meditating in the mountains, with the women looking after the finer details. They're pretty much in control. In this room today, I'm proud to say that we all come from different cultures. Our roots make us who we are. In our daily lives, we see women from all walks of life painting the world with their bold lipsticks, as long as we color our lives in our chosen shades. Back from the time with the Lady Justice balancing the tarazu in blindfold, the blindfold so she is not partial to the good-looking men in the court, and the tarazu for the balance in multitasking, which we all do on a daily basis. The countless research by Harvard graduates in science keeps stating that women are better at multitasking. If they can hear me, I'd like to tell them, we know. Back in the day of life without technology and added luxury, to now, the only change I perceive is the ghungat, and maybe the acknowledgement that we get for the same. My day begins with my cup of tea, sitting in my corner chair, with my mind forming the map for the day. Those 30 minutes are where I foresee and crack the details of the day, from different menus for my boys, who actually believe I run a 5-star hotel with 7-course meals to bite. Those 30 minutes encapsulate the madness of my world with aligning the house help, dry lockers, school assignments, laundry, kids, clients, husbands who don't completely grow up ever, work, and clients who like to behave like kids. In my opinion, this is the goddess of the details, to be able to create our own path, whether as a working woman or as a homemaker. I believe we all truly do our bit in our own ways. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना. This golden line of Bollywood is so true, which the sooner you understand, the better. These are the kind of details that the goddess in you needs to trample on with high heels or sneakers, whichever you prefer. The little details and moments in life form a happy place. Finding something that makes your heart sing, even if it's out of tune, it's essential, I believe. It could be balling around the streets, to Pilates, to walks on the beach. We all need to find it and practice it and appreciate it. More and more women today are taking exciting trips, solo adventures, making memories, exploring cities that turn them on, to taking themselves out on dinner dates, to writing the journey of discovering themselves. The discovery of self lies in the details of this journey. I love my life, or else I wouldn't be this great at multitasking. The chaos helps me focus on the details that my colleagues and boys wish sometimes I would overlook. Don't we all hear it occasionally? It's okay if it's a little off-center. Not really. Chaos is the nature of our nature. Acing it in the chaos department is Wonder Woman. She's basically babysitting all the superheroes, being indestructible by the likes of maximum evils, while maintaining peace on our planet and hardly blinking an eyelid through it all, while managing to look the way she does. Talking about superheroes, I would like to throw light on a few iconic women in the sphere of design. These women, like us, are fans of the beautiful profession, harnessing their talents in detail and showcasing the same for the world to see. While these ladies fist-pumping the sky, please note the detail of the red nail paint. What is love? For me, I love design, amongst many other things. The art of creating and focusing on the finer details gives me immense joy. In our profession, we come across a spectrum of clients and their detailed briefs. Yes, they want for themselves. Working with strong, independent women, which the society has stereotyped, has been quite a journey for me. It's refreshing to work with empowered women who know what they want and they aren't shy. Why not be proud of who you are? Wear your quirks on your sleeves. Some of my studio's work that reflects the joy I derive in the process of detailing, the art, color, clutter, basically the entire process that goes into creating. I love to design bars and young hip places to party. I think it keeps the child in you very alive. It helps you keep young, unafraid to experiment, and always eager to explore. The vibrancy and the formal nature of hospitality design and residential design is something that I enjoy very much. The conflict in the two, and yet the coming together through the design process and detailing is pure joy. As I conclude, I would like to highlight the very important detail that we often tend to neglect, the ability to empower. We forget how much we can inspire. So raise a glass at each other's success, clap the loudest when one of us stands on the stage, and dance together to celebrate the goddesses within us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shabnam, for holding up all the sky, for breaking that stereotype. Thank you so much. We now move on to Chitra Vishwanath, who studied civil engineering in Nigeria and graduated from SEPT University, Ahmedabad, in architecture. She began her practice in 1990 with an emphasis on indigenous natural resources in both an active and passive manner, and mud forms the basic element in her architectural designs in view of its easy availability, labor intensiveness, and the ease of construction, incorporating water, energy, and land use processes. She has been an ardent and committed ecological architect since the beginning of her career, and with a complete commitment to sustainable architecture, her practice spanned 50 executed around 500 projects, residential, institutional, and tourist. Starting off as the sole and principal architect and managing director of Biome Environment Solutions Private Limited, she now has around 30 employees. So, ladies and gentlemen, give that cheer up for Chitra.
Thank you, Rini, for the great introduction. And my God, people have been so good. All these goddess stuff, it's just too much for me. My life has been a flow and extremely serendipitous, and I have enjoyed every minute of it. And this event, thank you, KOHLER, and the team for putting this together. And this event should be great. Thank you, Monica. Can you start? So I thought, when it is a KOHLER event, it's best I talk about toilets. And Laura said it, okay? So starting from a home, that's what my presentation would be, to the city, and how the city is affected by our toilets. And in this anthropocene world, toilets are an opportunity. So a home which two friends built, one retired from Pollution Control Board and a professor from Stockholm Environmental Institute, Jan Olof's mission was to build 3 homes in different parts of the world which close the loop of the waste and lead it to food. So this is in Bangalore. And this is a house, as most biome homes are. It has a basement, is built with earth, and as seen in the blue highlight areas are the water and waste spaces through in this home, and they are nutrition producing factories. So the concept of closing the loop is in the left cartoon, which tells you, like, you produce waste and it becomes food, which is the right way. You can't just eat food and just only put to the waste. And the second cartoon is about water of all kinds, rainwater, grey water, black water. So the design in this house began from the rear. We collect super clean rainwater from a super clean terrace and connect it to the kitchen and use it for drinking and cooking, therefore securing your drinking, cooking water. Moving on to rainwater from other terraces and directing them to storages and towards recharge. So this is securing water not just for you now, but also for the future generation. And that's what we feel in biome should be ecological architecture as future. And that should be detail. Detail is for future, as Laura put it. Next is grey water from baths, wash basins, washing machines, collected and treated through infiltra and mulch towers. This is all a Swedish word. Stored, pumped and used for plants and for flushing. Again, you secure your wastewater. And now to the mother of all waters, black water. It's all waste, but wastewater full of nutrients. Human waste is best for returning it to soil, and soil is the best to treat it. So toilets which are urine diverting and also ones which are urine diverting dry toilets in this house. The house, this photograph was taken a year back, and when the photo, now if we take, it's all covered, surviving and thriving on human waste. So it all depends on what you eat. So please drink red wine, that's better. Moving on to the city. It's boring terraces, this is Bangalore. And in Bangalore, they're super boring because you can't even use it to sleep at the night. Too many mosquitoes, and it gets really cold sometimes, and you can't even make uppers on there because it's not hot enough to do anything on that terrace in summers too. So time to turn the terrace into an ecosystem. Time to turn the city into an ecosystem, making cities positive inserts, not bringing about bad air quality. 15 cities in India. And as Sonali said, gardens, 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 and more gardens. And that's probably 20 seconds, yeah. So, back to city waters. This is the narrative in Bangalore. Foaming, frothing, burning lakes. But that is the overarching narrative. Everybody says this is how Bangalore city is now. But I would say no, it's not so. It's not really that lost because we talk about these lakes, so it's not really that lost. It's wonderful, path-breaking events are happening in this city. And this city, Bangalore, we should be proud of it. And these are happening serendipitously and on their own. This is Jakku Lake in North Bangalore. It's a beautiful lake. It's got water throughout the year, which is not the way it should be in Bangalore. But now, because it's located, it was located initially amongst the rice fields, but now there are inhabitants. Full of apartments all over, and people bring waste. People bring waste that has to be treated, and in this picture, the top is the treatment plant. And this treatment plant makes the lake survive. This treatment plant also provides nutritious food, nutritious fertilizer, which the farmers take it to the places around. So there you get your fodder, grass, and lawns, and also the bananas which come. It's all from the waste generated. And wastewater flows through phytoid beds, which create ecosystems for weaver birds and many others, and become a place to learn about biodiversity within the city. Further, through seeding of the lake by the horticulture department, there are pelicans. There are fish there and there are pelicans. And these pelicans are permanent residents. They don't go away at all because there is water, there is food, and they're seen throughout the year. They share their catch with the fishermen. The fishermen get about 150 kgs of fish every day. And they have to share it with the pelican. And they feed the humans. So now this lake, which would otherwise be used for growing rice, now it's feeding it the whole place differently. It's giving it fish. And this is happening throughout. And here is the water moves on through the layers of soil. The microbes work on it, gets cleaner, and 10 kilometers away is this well, which provides a little town 10 kilometers away good drinking water in a large 30 feet dia well. So all is not lost with the frothing lakes. The frothing lake is also very much used by intelligent people like Ramaswamy here, who grows mulberries, plants, so thereby giving us silk, and thereby it becomes shit to silk. Thank you.
So there's hope for not just Bangalore, for all of us, when you've got people like Chitra working through her expertise. So thank you very much, Chitra. Ladies, our final superstar is Supraja Rao, principal designer and creative head at Design House. And Supraja has really used her secret superwoman cape today to fly in from Jodhpur and join us at the nth hour. She had work in Jodhpur, so had to come in at the last minute, and we're really delighted that she could make it here in the nick of time. Supraja, like many others, has a myriad projects designed by her, like homes, offices, hotels, corporate ventures, spas, design boutiques, and retail. Though she's not formally trained in design, she brings an embodiment of practicality, experience, and finesse towards her work. She's an award-winning architect and interior designer with innumerable accolades to her name, and she's known to turn away commercially lucrative projects only to take up ones that challenge her. And I quote in her own words, quote, "For me, space design is more than just an element of style. It is a reflection of the emotions, attitudes, and behaviors of people embracing it." Unquote. Supraja, do tell us what your views are on our topic.
Thank you, KOHLER, for having me over. Happy Women's Day to all you gorgeous women here. And yes, I got off 2 planes to be here and 2 more planes on 2 days ago. And today is my birthday. Yeah. So I am a little spoiled. And on Women's Day, I celebrate my birthday as a Women's Day party. And I love it because all women come excited because they're coming really to celebrate a day for themselves, not really my birthday. So I've always been used to these large parties, lunches and all, and I was hesitant to take this invite, like, do I skip my birthday? And so it happens, like I'm from South India and my mother-in-law, you tell the age, you always tell the age you're going to run. So I complete 49 today. So according, in her words, so if I have to say, she'll say 50. So I'm basically running 50. So I said, all right, this year will be my running 50 year. And I chose to curate an art show in Jodhpur. That's why I got off 2 planes on the day before and then 2 planes today. So I said, I'm just going to run on my birthday, which is my theme for the year. So, yeah, Monica, let me start. Yeah, so happy birthday to me. And goddess is in detail, goddess is in you. Bhagwan to aapke andar hota hai. So why not that attitude? And why am I speaking on birthdays? Because it's my birthday, it's Women's Day, I'm a professional, and I'm connecting the dots. Birthdays mark the beginning of life and reflect the cycle of our creation. Oops, it went on to the next slide. So the idea of celebrating your birthday is a pagan tradition. Christians don't really believe in celebrating birthdays. In fact, pagans saw the evil spirits lurked on the special days like your birthday. And the ancient Greeks believed that each person had a spirit that attended his or her birthday and kept a watch. And that spirit has a mystic relation with God, etc., etc. So many spirits, no wonder we drink. The Germans originated the birthday celebration. It was called Kinderfest back in 1700s. And they cut a cake. Actually, it started with a multi-layer torte, and they put many candles, 1 for each year, and some extra to signify upcoming years. Remind me, no Kinderfest Day for me today. And why were the cakes round? A party isn't just a party without a cake. Really? Ever wonder why? It is believed that the first birthday cake was made in Germany in the Middle Ages. Cakes were originally coarse, just bread-like product, and later become much sweeter version. And they called something, something, something. Gosh, why do they have these unpronounceable names? Today, cakes are cut to celebrate most occasions fondly all over the world. And cake art has also got famous. And cakes are round, and you could become like this. That's me, yeah. Potential, but yeah, I'd like to believe I'd like to stick there. It dated back again to the Greek civilizations where the individual gaining one more year would bring a circle-shaped pastry to the temple of Artemis, the goddess of nature, the moon, and the fertility to ensure her favor for another year. People place candles on birthdays, make a silent wish, and you're supposed to blow it at one go, and then your wish will come true. I'm going to try. The cake set candles as a response to the evil spirits. They showed up to communicate with the gods, a light in the darkness. Oops. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. I missed that, but the original lyrics were like this. It was good morning to you, good morning to you, good morning to you, dear children. Thank God they changed that. So this is, the Guinness Book of World Record recognizes this as the most recognizable song in English, translated over 24 languages. Presents Kanod, I hope you're hearing, it's my birthday today. So giving birthdays has its roots from religious rituals. One popular theory about giving birthdays started hundreds of years ago in Europe. People believed that the person's birthday, evil spirits would haunt and harm the celebrant. Again, spirits. So let's remember and drink. Oops, did I miss this? Yeah. Greeks believed that evil spirits lurked in the person on the special day. Hence, shouting out happy birthday was to drive away the spirits, yes. Am I missing the link? Birthday bumps. Birthday bumps are one of the fun things on a birthday, certainly not to the one who's going to be bumped. Birthday is incomplete without this fun tradition. English bumps. The bumps are age-old tradition in the English, Ireland, and the other European countries. They were given by bumping him or her into the air, and the bumps were equal to the number of birthdays, and +1 for the luck. Doesn't apply to the speakers, though, just to put a point. And different countries had different traditions. Russia had a personalized pie. In Russia, you'd be presented with a glorious homemade pie with a personalized message. Besides the general celebration, one of the best birthday traditions is clothesline birthday party tradition, where they line the gifts up on a clothesline. In Korea, they would whatever. A hearty seafood soup is usually served as a part of the breakfast for the beloved birthdays, boys and girls in Korea. Mothers also eat the soup during their childbirth to replenish nutrients during pregnancy. Thus, it is made on every birthday as a memory of birth. Punishment never ends. In China, eating oodles of noodles, or chang su nian on your birthday symbolizes the oodles of life you will hopefully have. It's an extremely intricate dish tailored to taste palates of each household. But simply put, it's an egg, chicken broth served over noodles. Koreans, are you listening? Australia. Australians are known to celebrate their birthdays with fairy bread instead of generic cake. It's an unbeatable combination of buttered bread and tiny hundreds and thousands. Hundreds and thousands is the term used for these tiny sprinkles. It's interesting. In Germany, who started the birthdays? On German kids' birthdays, they get candles, cakes, presents, etc., etc. But what's interesting is, if you are 30, a 30-year-old man and still single, you will be made to sweep the city hall stairs while your friends throw garbage at you. That way, everyone will know that you don't have a girlfriend or still single. Another reason to celebrate Women's Day. Vietnam. Vietnamese children and Vietnamese adults all celebrate their birthdays on one day of the year, regardless of the actual day they were born. That is called Tet, and it's known as the beginning of a new year. Kids get money from their parents on that day. People in Jamaica have a wonderful sense of humor. That is evident from their tradition of throwing flour at the birthday boy or girl. A light dusting of flour will never hurt anyone. Also, it's considered bad luck to marry on your birthday. In Canada, on birthdays, people usually are ambushed, confronted unexpectedly, and have butter or grease smeared on their nose. In case you got confused, it's the person whose birthday it is. India is undoubtedly pioneers of celebrations, all the different Janmashtamis which are celebrated. And like the West, we light a lamp reminding the child of the true path to follow and prayers of enlightenment. Birthdays are celebrated as per Tithi on the original day, auspicious time, not as per the English calendar. Aarti, and of course, when you've turned 1 year old, you're mercilessly shaved off your hair. That's because if you're anything from the past life, you're supposed to have got rid of that. And so, if you've enjoyed the Gyan and know what birthdays are, I'm glad to be a woman, glad to be born on this day, and I'm even gladder that I'm today with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pecha. Can I request you to just remain on stage as I request all the other speakers to join you? Laura, Sonali, Aditi, Shabnam, and Chitra. Please join Pecha on stage. And ladies, this is the moment when you all have those questions up for our speakers. So just raise your hand and we'll get the microphone to you. So to start it off, can I request you all to please put your hands together and give them a loud cheer? Thank you very much. Any questions? Do you have questions for each other, speakers? Okay, I'll kick off. I'm going to start off by asking Laura the first question. Listening to you, I think all of us were wondering, how do you manage the different lines in your life? You've got a career, you've got your interests, your passions that you want to follow. You've got family, I believe you've got 3 kids that you also micromanage. How do you do all of this without stressing out?
I do stress out, but I try to manage that. And I coach a lot of executives, and what I say is, you're running a marathon, it's not a sprint. And you need to save your energy, and you need to be strong. You need to get your rest, your sleep, and take care of yourself. And I think as a mother, as a woman, we do so many things. I think it's really important to continue to take care of yourself. And whatever that means for you, whether that's yoga, whether that's running, whether that's getting rest, whether that's a spiritual connection that you have, I think it starts with taking care of you. And if you take care of you, you can take care of others, and you can really spread your light and make an impact around the world. So I would say it starts with yourself. And I have a really good sort of family system. That is the second thing that is really important. And then I don't try to do it all. There's things that I'm not good at and that I've given up. So I think there's things that you just decide at certain points in your life. You might not have a big friend network. You might not be able to read a long reading list every night. So you pace yourself. And I think good things come to those who wait, too. And I'm getting to do great things now. My girls are starting to leave the house. And I'm traveling more globally than I did before. And we FaceTime a lot.
So I want to come in on that. You've got 3 girls, or you've got...
I have 3 girls.
You've got 3 girls. So, how does it work? Parenting today is tougher than it ever has been. Mothers and daughters, where do you draw the line? Where do you tell them, I've done this, I know this all?
Yeah. Well, I think once they get to be 18, they are who they are. And you hope that they make good judgments and that when faced with challenge, they go back to the things that you taught them. And I believe in hard and lonely experiences. I think if you shelter your children too much, then when they get out into the real world, they're not equipped to make tough decisions. So I believe in a work ethic. I believe in failure. I believe in resilience. I believe in the ability to bounce back, and I think that makes us stronger. So I think you have to push them out of the nest and encourage them to take some risks.
Thank you. I'd like to move on to Aditi, who's been listening very carefully to what Laura had to say. Aditi, there are many questions that I'd like to ask you, but I think I'll start with, how do you choose your films, or do you let films choose you?
I think always a combination. I think it first starts with your intent. And I think intention is something that is not given enough credit because it's something that happens before, and it kind of almost happens subconsciously or subliminally. And but I think intent is one of the most important things. So I could be doing a film for an award or for fame or for money or for whatever it is. Or I could be doing a film because I want to work with a certain team and I want, and I somewhere know that cinema or that art that we create is going to be timeless. I'm very attracted to work like that. Maybe it's because I grew up around a lot of artists, so I don't know what it is, but I'm very instinctively drawn towards movies like that. But I feel that it's always a combination of choosing films and also films choosing you. Like you can't, and I can't go up to Manisa and say, I want to do a film with you. He will choose me. But that intention is there, that this is the kind of cinema I want to do, this is the kind of person I want to work with. And I think it does start from a dream. So I do really believe those dreams. That's how I've always gone about my work. I've fumbled, I've fallen, but I've always picked myself up and I've been very clear about what it is that I want to do. And somehow going with the flow has always guided me to where I want to be. And that's how I...
Is there a spirit that tells you never be afraid to explore? Be the child always.
Absolutely. You know, I think it's everything around me, whether it's my mother, my grandmother, who was the queen of being fearless and being a child forever, or the dance that I learned. Actually, I never learned music. I wish I had today, because quite often...
I think you've imbibed it.
Yes, I imbibed it. And so often people make me stand on stage and suddenly hand me a mic and say, now sing. And I'm just like, oh God, why didn't I listen to my grandmother? Why didn't I listen to my mother? But I feel like, apart from these people, you know what I have found that has been so special for me, and I'll keep going back to Manisa, because I feel that being on his set has really taught me to be fearless, and I've realized the importance and the beauty in being fearless. And I always feel like it's like, you know, a beautiful set. And I think that where you can really be a true artist, and a true artist is a child forever, is where you feel like you're in a playground, and you can turn somersaults, you can hang upside down, you can do what the hell you want, but there is somebody watching over you. And I always say, like, working with people like Manisa is like you stand at the edge of the cliff, and you have the courage to jump. Because you'll either fly, or he will pick you up and put you back on that cliff and say, jump again.
Correct.
So it's so beautiful to work in an environment that is nurturing and challenging. And that spirit, that experience is in itself a spirit, and that's what guides me every time, because I keep seeking those experiences again and again.
All the best to you, Aditi. Shabnam, I have a question for you. Goddesses having that eye for detail, is it actually a negative can we be too controlling?
I'm sorry, you said
Being goddesses and people who are controlling. You know, your presentation was all about women power and women being the ones who are holding up the sky. So being goddesses and having that eye for detail, can that actually work the opposite way? Can we become painful to the rest of the world because we are constantly looking at details?
Of course we can. And I think we are to a certain extent. I think there's a lot of women empowerment which is not used in the right context. I think there's a lot of male bashing that happens, which I don't completely endorse. I think it's a yin and a yang. And I think both the systems are required to maintain balance. And I think life is all about balance. And I mean, I'm sure all of us go off balance. You need to come back. You sometimes have too much work. The house goes a little out of balance. Sometimes you've got to forget what the house is. So I think it's more an internal journey. I think it's less to do with women empowerment, or it's less to do with being controlling. I think it's more to do with being the right human, evolving, learning from your mistakes, and knowing when to say stop and when to say go. I think it's just about your own self.
Thank you. I've been told that I need to wrap up, so thank you to our amazing speakers. We've had a fantastic Pecha Kucha, so let's hear it loud and clear, ladies and gentlemen. We have a inside. I'd like to now finally invite Shreya Malik, who heads projects, marketing and business development at KOHLER, to please give thanks.
I have to say, what an amazing day and what an amazing forum. And what amazing women here. Like, really. I mean, I am absolutely honored to be here, and I'm like going back absolutely stunned. So here is what I want. Can we please have another round of applause for these amazing women who've come up here and have spoken to us. Louder. I think we can make more noise in this room. Like, let what everybody do. But thank you all for spending this special day with us. And I speak on behalf of the entire KOHLER team when I say that we're honored to have each of you here with us tonight. And I hope to hear more noise in this room, and I'm serious about that. I think we've been very, very quiet. So I definitely hope to hear more noise. And I'm not going to keep anyone away from the bar or from dinner any longer. So thank you so much for joining us.
So before you get off, could I request you to please join them for a group? Let's make some noise to make them smile. Woohoo! Brava! Fantastic job done. Let's have those smiles open wider. Thank you very much, ladies, for joining us. Thank you for listening to us very patiently, and for our presenters making interesting and meaningful presentations. Do join us now for drinks and dinner, and as soon as our media partner, Times Now, gives us the dates of telecast, we shall let them know. So, please join us outside now. The bar is open. Thank you.